Hello and welcome to another review video by me, the Dorkman, as always. And today we're going to look at Volo's guide. Going to make this nice and quick, nice and easy for you guys to look at. So as you can see, immediately you can recognise it off the shelf because it looks completely different to the other books. It's got like a rubber sort of texture to the cover, and it's got this silver inlay that shows off the mind flayers. So Volo is a character in D&D that was created by Ed Greenwood as well as Elminster. So both of them play a pivotal part in this book. So this is kind of written in-game sort of by Volo. He's a travelling book writer, I guess. I don't know too much about him. But looking from this book, he's a travelling writer, and he writes these books: Volo's Guide to Monsters, Volo's Guide to the North, Volo's Guide to Indigenous Mushrooms. Basically, it's all about making money. He keeps writing all this tat. This is his introduction to the book, and this is excerpts from Elminster basically ripping into Volo, saying you shouldn't really trust him because he's a bit dodgy and he's self-grandializing, etc., etc. I'm sorry about the lighting, guys, but I'm actually doing this on my dining room table. The artwork in the book is fantastic. The first portion of the book covers beholders, giants, gnolls, goblins, and orcs, goblinoids, sorry, hags, kobolds, mind flayers, and Huan T. Second chapter is a whole bunch of new races, and the third chapter is all the brand new monsters. So I'm just going to flick into one of the sections, see what I come up with. Giants, Storm King's Thunder goes into that to more detail a little bit. So gnolls. So in each of the sections it covers the different sort of, I'm going to call them archetypes. It'll cover their society, their attitudes, basically their structure that they live in, and it'll give you some variances on if you want to use them. So in this case, if you want to create a gnoll warband, you can roll some tables or get your ideas on what would consist in that warband. Obviously their allegiance to the demon lord. I am not even going to pronounce his name, and how they fit in with him, I think. If not, you want to go and check out the Dragon Talk podcast and the Lore You Should Know with Chris Perkins and Greg Tito. And they'll cover a lot of stuff, especially stuff like gnolls. Gnolls are pretty cool. So that's the first section. They'll cover everything. Like beholders, it'll tell you how beholders make other beholders, and some of them do come with additional maps. As far as I know, the maps in this book are all done by Blando. I can't see his signature on this one, but as far as I know, the majority of the maps are done by Blando. So we get on to the chapter 2, new character races. So we've got the Azimir. They are the angelic version of the tiefling, which have been fleshed out a lot more because they've got a whole bunch, 2 pages, of what happens if you are aligned to a certain deity or a certain angelic guide, and if you don't adhere to those sorts of principles, what happens? You flick between protector and scourge, so your wisdom and constitution can flick back and forward through the game. A little bit iffy whether or not your DM lets you do that. That's another thing. Or you could be a fallen Azimir, because you can have evil angelic creatures. Yeah. Enough of that. Carry on. Fireblogs, or whatever you call them. I am so butchering that name. These are the starting height, same as Goliath. So these are quite big, but they're forest dwellers. They're not mountain dwellers or traveling packs or hordes like Goliath, but they are very big. They do have pseudo innate magical abilities. But they are ideally, I'm sure it says somewhere in here, that ideally you want to take them as a druid. If you want to fit thematically with the game and with the archetype of the race, you want to do it as a druid. Goliath, we've seen the Goliath in the Elemental Evil player companion, but that's there. The Kenku, if you've seen the film Dark Crystal, you get the sort of character that it is. They're cursed bird people. Lizard folk, self-explanatory. Lizard folk, so kind of like Snapjaw from the Horde of the Dragon Queen, who was a favourite of my group when we ran that. A brand new one called the Tabaxi, which are basically cat folk, or Khajiit if you play Elder Scrolls. These are very good. It says in the book that their sort of thing is thieves. That's where they excel at. If you want to stick with them, and the Tritons, merfolk. They're mermaids essentially, but they have feet, which is quite nice. Because how do you walk on land if you have no feet? So it goes into all details of the different races, and then there's a monstrous adventurers. If you want to make an adventurer that is evil, or if you're doing an evil campaign, you've got bugbear, hobgoblin, kobold, goblin, normal goblin, full orc, and huanti, pureblood traits. So if you want to play as an orc or a lizard, a snake person, and the bestiary. I'm not going to cover everything, so obviously I'm trying to make this really quick. But there are a plethora of new monsters. The new monsters are designed to fit in the gaps of the monster manual that it kind of left in its wake. There was some challenge rating CR issues with certain types of monsters. So some of these are designed to fit within that role. Some of these are quite unique. Some of them are alternates to the current races. These are quite cute, but they're evil as hell. Guard drakes. So a lot of people want to take guard drakes as a companion. This details on how you can do that, which is great. A whole bunch of new hags, goblins, a Kairin, which is a challenge rated 12, and it has a layer, so it's kind of like a dragon unicorn, I guess. Some kobolds. A whole bunch of new mind flayers. There's different ones that fit within their races, and a new elder brain, a huge section of the elder brain. A Ulithrid, which are basically like an alpha. It's got 6 tentacles instead of 4. Yeah, so essentially that's it. There's a lot of new monsters. I'll let you just quickly have a look at some of the artwork, because the artwork is sweet. Some of them are weird, some are really weird. I like that. That's pretty cool. And what do we get at the back? At the back, we've got a sword of beasts. So cattle, aurochs, dolphin. Okay, that's quite random. And then some non-playable characters. These are NPCs that fit within to replace the challenge rating problem that they had. So you've got Archdruid, Archer, Bard, Blackguard. Some of these fit together. So the Conjurer is a conjuring wizard, but is actually some skill, so it's not a apprentice. Champion, Chandler. So some of these do fit in with the character. They're like watered down characters, so you can fit Kraken Priest. Yep, that's a thing. Thieves, warlocks, a couple of warlocks, all the different kinds of warlocks. Warlock, Archfey, Fiend, and the great old one, and then a warlord. I thought it was going to be a sword, but it's not. And then obviously the usual monster list and stat blocks by challenge rating. And then creatures by environment. So pretty much everything you would want from this book. Is quite nice. So if you got any specific questions you want to ask me, just drop me a comment down below. Quick like, do all the YouTubey stuff, and I will make sure that it won't be another 3 months before I put another video on here. So it's a pleasure to be back. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself. All that kind of lovely stuff. Peace.